I didn't vlog at all today. This was my planned day off, but I decided to pick up the camera. It's 4:19 on Sunday, and there's a few things that I want to do that help me going into the week. I always like to try and get all of the laundry done, so I have a load to do, so I'm going to get that put in, and then I'm going to have an afternoon pick me up. We had a great day. And I need to fill up the K-Cups for the week. And right now I'm going to have the last Sumatra. And I'm going to have it in my Harry Potter mug. And in the summertime, I find Sundays are very different compared to once we get into the cooler months. And I like things to be as simple as possible on Sundays. But anyways, I'm going to enjoy a nice coffee. And then I'm going to do a little bit of planning for the week just to kind of give me a better idea of what's going to be happening. So we're outside now and I put on comfy, cozy clothes. And this is my life planner. That's the thing that gets filled in first. Then I do a little bit of a brain dump of, different things for the week. And then I ended off with my YouTube planner. And that's kind of okay, Vlogust is coming to an end. What can I do on certain days? And what are some video ideas and all of that? And I'm going to finish my coffee up. I got everything done. And it really was a beautiful day. I'm ready for fall, but I'm not going to lie. This is a beautiful sky. Nice and blue with a lot of the clouds. And I thought I'd share with you what I kind of do Sunday nights and then going into the weekends. It's just a brain dump that helps my anxiety. These are things that are going to kind of happen. I don't have a lot of control over. The weather always changes, but pumpkin spice lattes come out. Just to give you 21 degrees Celsius is 69.8 degrees Fahrenheit. No humidity this week. That's so exciting. I am keeping track of the Blue Jays games because they are doing really good and I want to follow up. So what time they're playing, who the starting pitcher is. I don't know what's going to happen going into football and hockey season. There is a movie coming out on Thursday that I might be interested in. And then I just do a little bit of a brain dump of what meals and everything are going to look like. It's my first week without HelloFresh. We also have some different things going on. And I just find this really helps me getting it all out on paper. What the weather's going to look like, anything to look forward to if I'm having a little bit of a rougher week. And we had a really nice lunch. I had French fries. They were so good. So I want to keep my dinner a little bit lighter. So we're going to do the last of the burgers that we have. So Steve and Andrew are going to have them on this everything bread. And then I'm just going to have the salad with mine. And then we also have some grapes to go along with it. And just a really nice, easy dinner. Not a lot of cleanup. And I'm actually really looking forward to it. And the boys are you got any carrots, Mom? Come on. No, I don't have any carrots, but there's some other things that they can enjoy. But anyways, yeah, Hunter is starting to look a lot more like Charlie as his face is getting whiter. And that was my dinner. The dill pickle chopped salad. I just cut up the burger and then I cut up extra pickles. I've really been just enjoying dill pickles lately. And then I had some desserts. We had a really nice lunch out and I thought it might thicken up. But it didn't, but it was still really, really good. And it was the perfect way to close out a great weekend. Day of Vlogust, we're getting close to the end. And I took yesterday off because we celebrated Andrew. Today is his birthday, but we did some things yesterday since it was the weekend. And we'll do a few things tonight. But our baby is 25. The years just seem to fly by, but he's grown into such a handsome, happy young man. We're so proud of him. We just keep taking things, day by day, week by week. We have plans and all of this kind of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that is out of our control too for things in the future. And I know a lot of you understand that, and we've talked privately about it, and it's just different whenever you have a child that just can't, out into the world and figure things out. It's a little bit different, but he's doing great. It's been a good year. I feel with me just being in a better place mentally and physically and all that, it just makes a huge impact on my son. He senses it and everything, and he just has that sparkle in his eyes. So anyways, yeah, I had a few things this morning, not too much, but anyways, I'm feeling pretty hungry now, so I have some egg bites and something else in the air fryer. I want kind of a warm, hearty lunch, and this sounded really, really good, so I think I'm gonna watch that. I got back into Gilmore Girls. I watched it every fall until I kind of get bored of it. So I'm just at the end of season 2. My year in Oxford or whatever, I like the beginning of it, but then I watched another little bit of it, and then like the whole like romance and everything, I'm not really interested in that. I was more interested in like the setting and, you know, the different things that they get to enjoy. And I don't know if I'm gonna finish it, but I'm gonna share with you my brunchy lunchy, whatever you want to call it. Watch a little bit of Gilmore Girls. I have some things to do, and then I want to look through some of my fall tops and see what I have, what I'm excited to wear, and maybe it might be time to say goodbye to a few things too. I don't know, we'll see. This is my first meal for the day. Canned beans, I heat them up, fresh local strawberries that are so sweet, little hash brown, and then a couple of egg bites. I get these at Costco, very similar to what they have at Starbucks. I use hot sauce, and then I'm gonna drink a 0 sugar watermelon Gatorade. I'm going through some of the clothes that I packed away last fall. I tried a couple of new sweatshirts last year, and they were too warm. I didn't wear them, but there was a few that I wore a lot, and I made sure to pack them away. I'm excited seeing them out. And then there was a couple of shirts here too that I wasn't too sure of. I didn't really wear them, but I wasn't ready to say goodbye to them yet, so I'm gonna leave them in the box. And now we're getting to the box that's labeled fall. A lot of things I've accumulated, mostly from Maurice's. This was a new addition last year. The Great Pumpkin. I have a leaf blouse, a pumpkin blouse, just tops that I've accumulated over the years. And I do like them. They don't take up a lot of room. I do try and keep them in the banker boxes. But I'm kind of struggling a little bit now because I started wearing these other blouses, and they have they're a little bit longer. They have a nicer flow to them. So I'm just trying to figure out what I really want to wear going into the fall. I know a lot of these blouses will work with cardigans, and you know, I'm all over the place with my clothes, what I feel comfortable in. And there's a few little blouses in here that would work for this time of the year too, but I'm not loving all the big floral prints and everything like I used to. There's a couple of patterns that I like, but honestly, there is some blouses that I might only wear once a year. But there's a reason why I wear them once a year. There's something special about them, or, you know, it's like the first day of spring or something. I don't know. Like, I'm not ready to say goodbye to a lot of them yet because I get rid of them, and then if I see them at the thrift store, I might want to buy them again, you know what I mean? So I think when you're letting go of clothes, you have to be very mindful. Like, am I going to regret this? Like, it's really hard to find things that you do like. I do run really, really warm, so that's part of the reason why I like to have the blouses and dress in layers and have the different cardigans that kind of go with it. Like, when it comes to fall, I'm all about like the browns and the orange and the warmer colors. But I was glad I went through it. I need a couple of things this year, but not a lot. I'm in a little bit of a weird mood this afternoon, and just like I'm so ready for fall, but we still have, you know, some summer left. And, you know, I'm also thinking about what content is going to look like once Vlogust is done, and I do want to be prepared for it. But my content is also, you know, real meals that I cook for my family. Like, I don't want to do baking or cooking just for the sake of sharing it with you. Like, I want to, you know, really share how I make dinner for my family. And this was a Pioneer Woman cookbook that I thrifted, and I do really like it. She did have some freezer meals in it, and I just really want to have some meals that are going to become staples, but also how do I get Andrew to eat some of the things with a little bit of a different texture going into the cooler months. So I do want to think about it a little bit. I do want to have like specific ingredients in my pantry and my fridge, so when I decide to make something, I have everything. Trying to get a little bit of dinner inspiration going into the cooler months. You know, the past month or so using HelloFresh has really helped me a lot with figuring out a really good way to eat that I'm finding balance in getting back on the lifestyle change. And is this a way that I could eat for the rest of my life? Absolutely. I think the biggest thing that helped me with that was the variety of the foods, the quality of it, and also the portions of it, and just having all of the ingredients there. And it's so easy now that I'm getting more and more organized to do it. And that's something else I can do going into the winter months. Like, I can just bring up their menu and say, oh, like if I had to pick 3 meals this week, what would I pick? And then, you know, finding an alternative recipe or using that recipe to make it myself. But I also want to be a little bit better organized and have some staples ready to go in the freezer. And I think in the little freezer meal section of that one cookbook from the Pioneer Woman, she talked about meatballs, like the basic meatball recipe, but then she had the different recipes, like Swedish meatballs, sweet and sour, like you could do meatball subs or just meatball and spaghetti. Like there's so many things that you can do with meatballs, so you could have like meatballs every week, but it could be different, like a different flavor. So that was really like a really good way to do it. And then thinking about making like hamburger patties, because you could have hamburgers, you could do like Salisbury steak, you can do all sorts of different things with that. And that's a really good idea to have too, because if I freeze them individually in a bag, it would be easier if I'm making something on a night that Andrew doesn't like to pull out something, and I can make him like just a burger, and it would really work for us. So I'm trying to be very cautious of meals and all of that, and being organized and not getting overwhelmed. And I'm also thinking about like what is a good bowl for me to use if I'm making like a hamburger helper or like a really nice hearty stew, so that way I have like a good, a good like portion of like the soup or the stew, but then what can I have to go along with it? Is it a bag salad kit? Is it having some like roasted vegetables that would help fill me up, but then I have like the flavor and the comfort of that, like, little bit of a more indulgent meal. And I think it's a really good way to find the balance with everything. So I have a few weeks and all of that to get in order, but I think the other thing too is how I fill up my freezer whenever I buy meat. It's really how you freeze it and organize it that will help you. And then also getting back into some content. Obviously anything I do is for myself and my family, but I also want it to be relatable and help any of you get organized going into the colder months, and also doing it for smaller families. And once I'm organized and everything is in place, like it'll get easier and easier, and I just have to keep doing all of those little things that I've been doing day by day. But it has definitely felt like a Monday. It's just been nice to kind of just have a little bit of a slow day, and then trying to get appointments and everything made and all lined up for the month of September. And somebody didn't realize that September the 1st was Labor Day, and she was booking appointments for that day. So she said, "Oh, really?" She said, "Okay." I said, "You were meant to call me because you think somebody else would have noticed if they were making appointments for that day." But I know life is busy and you don't really think of September 1st as Labor Day, but yeah, it's the first Monday of the month. So she'll probably have a couple more phone calls to make to rearrange those appointments. But anyways, I'm gonna do a little bit of cleaning up, and then I'm gonna do my little afternoon pick-me-up and pick up the birthday boy. We had 2 wonderful days celebrating Andrew. He was so happy, the sparkle in his eye. I love when there are certain days of the year where he just glows, and it was a great day. So it's the end of the night. I have this lamp on. It's a little bit brighter than what I want, so I think I might look for a different light bulb. I also put my candle warmer light on. I do have it on the lower setting, but I love the warmth of it, and I can't wait for fall. And Linus is tuckered out. He is ready for bed. So it was a really great day celebrating Andrew. I cannot believe that he is 25. The years just seem to fly by so quickly. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow.